So we come in this morning to one of the original meme stocks having earnings, guys. We're talking GameStop today with their report out after market yesterday. A couple of things to dissect here. I want to show you this headline first off, talking about this SEC investigation. So it looks like the SEC is going to look into not only the trading activity in GME from way back in January and February of this year, but also into, they do actually mention other symbols in this story as well. But we'll focus on GameStop here today. I mean, there's the earnings report itself to dissect a little bit as well, and also some executive moves from them on this as well.
Yeah, and look, first things first, when you talk about GameStop, you have to sort of separate a bit the momentum from the turnaround play because, you know, at these particular prices, you're talking about the momentum more than what the company's going to probably look like in a couple of years here. And so in that environment, it was going to be tough, and we actually mentioned this on our show in the evening, it was going to be tough for it not to get sold off even without that investigation by the SEC, unless it was a complete blowout. Look, their debt is, they now have no debt, they've got a solid cash position, they're making some executive changes, so things are going well in the turnaround. They've also been able to raise a bunch of money because of the increased stock price, and that's been good in terms of then facilitating this turnaround as well. Everyone's confident in the leadership. So you get a lot of that, but then you're asking, why is it to the downside? Remember where it's come. There is this second push that's happened in the squeeze in meme names, and as it was already pressing into a high and then sort of falling back off of that, and you see the double top here at like 340 or so, it was going to be difficult once that happened to be able to hold out. And when you have a couple of washouts like this going into the earnings off of a level like that, you're going to have to see some kind of ridiculous surprise, in my opinion. That's why we got bearish underneath the 280 level. So, you know, like I said, you do have to have that separation, I think, of traditional fundamentals and that turnaround story, which, look, it could certainly happen, and then the momentum in that stock price. So there was a lot of good in the report, certainly, and I think the bulls are going to like that. I mean, the question becomes, you know, are you looking 5 years out if you're trading or investing, or are you just day-to-day trading, which a lot of people are doing these days in GameStop, Sean?
Look, we tried to have today some of these, but unfortunately the diamond hands fell through today. You know, look, we were longer in the pre-market. That was a good one, able to take a little bit of money. Then it just kept on dripping all day to where we are right now, bouncing off 260. So look, new management, like Ryan Cohen's still there. He's still on the board. We have Amazon executive Matt Furlong now joining as brand new CEO. So I do think that there is going to be some possible momentum to the upside. But here's a 20-minute chart, and I just want to show you guys, like, you know, there really isn't any support, unfortunately, I don't think, at least until 250-ish, maybe even a little bit lower than that, 245. You know, we broke above some moving averages, basically below every single one here, including 5s, 15s, 50 periods as well. So we're well below that right now on the 20-minute. And I just, you know, I thought today off some of this news that we would have got going. I'm a little bit nervous that it's already 11:30 and the stock really isn't moving. So I would say, look, man, it's been a huge run for GameStop. Here's the daily chart. We're still well above the 50 period. This move up to 340, 360. We topped out there a couple times. Now you fall back in. So I think really, if you're going to be long GameStop, you don't have too much of a worry. You're going to have to be able to withstand, again, I would say another $15 down from here, and hopefully we get a bounce at 250. I think that's where you put your money in. If you still like this name, this is not a horrible spot. We've been holding up here at 260 so far. I think 260 to 270 might be the range today. So let's see what happens. A break back above 270, and I really do think we retest 290. So I'm pretty bullish on GameStop, especially at these levels. Let's wait to see what happens at 250. And if you're intraday trading like we are, then maybe 260 today.
So lots of information disclosed in this report, including the financials, guys. But I mean, the reaction the stock is having, does this have more to do with everything else that has been taking place and some of the announcements that were made in the report versus the actual numbers themselves?
Yeah, like this, to me, it's about that momentum. This is why you were talking about, you know, the potential of a sell-off and where to buy a dip, because if you believe in that the fundamentals and you believe in that turnaround story, that's all well and good. But if the stock is going to have so much volatility that it drops another 10% here, or from here you're talking about like 5% or so into a support level, well, I mean, you know, you might want to be patient in picking it up, and that's why we're sort of discussing that on the live show. That, you know, even if you have the most bullish outlook, the short term was going to to be very, very difficult for it to make that kind of a bounce. It would have had to been kind of a lot of shock and awe in terms of surprising in terms of that report. And I think we just got a little bit about what was expected. You knew the cash position was going to be pretty solid because they've been able to raise, and that's been a solid thing for them, and that's what they should be doing, obviously with GameStop. But as far as the momentum trade goes, you have to play the wins, and you can't forget that some of those, some of the meme names, some of the squeeze names had fallen hard in yesterday's action. So part of that pullback played into this as well.
Yeah, that's the problem is when you're trading like a group of stocks, right? You got to watch out. AMC, GameStop, they'll all sort of follow each other. And then that's why, Brendan, you sort of started this with many other names. I never heard that before, the Bang stocks. So that's a good one. I wish I had my Bang thing up here. We'd hit that. Actually, I'm going to find it and hit it for you guys. We just missed it there. Well, anyways, it doesn't matter. There it is, Bang. So these are called Bang stocks for a reason, guys. You have to be patient. They can blow up when they go. So I would be very, very careful here with GameStop. But I do like a 260 if you're intraday trading. And I think 250 can hold. I'm nervous that it hasn't gone up today. So for me, that's a little bit of a problem. I hope that the traders can support this down at 260. Remember, when there's a lot of retail buying, eventually retail runs out. So that's the number one thing that I'm worried about. I really want to see what happens at 250.
Yeah, it's an interesting move today, specifically for the stock. It's interesting you said that. Reuters may be even watching the show, guys. But we'll keep an eye on GameStop going forward here and see how things maybe recover or don't in the coming days, guys. Let's go to Valeria.
Hey guys, thank you for this helpful information. Dear viewers, please subscribe to this channel to see more great videos.